Hey! When I get excited, I always say hey really loud. Do you ever hear me next door?
I think I do, yeah.
Oh, I get stuff, I'm like, hey!
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah, I know you hear me. I knew you heard me when I did that.
I thought you were just like welcoming someone in.
No!
You're
Like
just-
every 10 minutes?
Yeah,
Or every 3 minutes?
You're just welcoming the moment. Hey!
Hi, everyone. That's amazing.
Hi!
Hi,
Hey!
welcome to another episode of my Codependent Corner chat. Why is this my Codependent Corner chat? Well, this is a very special corner to me because during all of my healing and my work that I've done through the past 2 years, a lot of it has taken place in this area. And I have my board here that I have these little Pantone cards that I'm always writing stuff on as great reminders. And then literally in the corner here is my huge, well, it's not huge, but it is a pretty big bookshelf full of all of my codependent books, healing books, you know, self-help. I should say self-help. And they've really got me through. So this is why we're doing this in my bedroom. And so this is my second one. So I guess I'm still doing them, obviously. But I have a special guest this week. So this is Lauren Farrah. Say hi. Say hi to the peeps.
Hello to the peeps. It's wonderful to be in your bedroom.
Thank you. She is not just my friend. She is also my neighbor. That's what we were talking about at the beginning. She hears everything that I do. I'm loud. You're not loud. I never hear you.
I was loud last
I heard
night.
you last night with your friends, but you know how rare that is?
Yeah.
And I was so happy to hear you having fun.
I needed some friends. I have some friends.
You do have friends. Oh my gosh.
I'm just quiet, but we got a little rowdy last night. You know, you get like 5 girls in a room and pop a few bottles of red and...
Ooh, is that what you guys were drinking?
Yes.
I was drinking whiskey over here.
Wow. You should have come over.
I know. I was resting.
Yeah.
Do you see my eyes?
Yes.
So, yeah, if you notice my eyes, I had a corrective procedure done to them. I'm not going to take my glasses off. I was going to take my glasses off. It is a shit show up in here. I'm sure you could see. I look like... what would you...
beautiful man. What the hell?
Not yet.
Not...
Give me a week. No, I'm kidding. No, it was more corrective. It
Right.
wasn't really for beauty. I mean, the end result is going to help aesthetically, but that's not why I did it.
Yeah.
You ready to get going?
Let's do
Okay, let's toast.
Okay.
Cheers, motherfucker.
Cheers.
I know I'm already starting the episode with the F-bomb, but look, this is how I always cheer.
Yeah.
It's always, cheers,
Cheers,
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
If you're with any of my friends and you go to cheer, it's just automatic.
Yeah.
So, cheers,
you.
motherfucker. Okay, so on this episode, I don't even know why I call it episode. It's like
It's
a
the
little
second
show.
one.
This is my
Yeah.
bedroom. We are talking about the inner child and inner child work / inner child healing. For most, they see inner child work or the inner child as someone you need to tame, someone you need to, get a hold of. Sometimes the inner kid will start driving, and when I say driving us as
Right.
people, they're in the driver's seat, right?
Right.
And the inner child will just push us over to the passenger seat, and
Right.
they take control in situations they should not have any control of.
Right.
So that is the most common perception. I said conception before, didn't I? Earlier. It's perception.
Perception,
Right?
yeah.
I don't even. We've been drinking.
We're
Who
fine.
even cares? But it's something that, like, say you're going to act out or you act out in doing something. I just cussed out a really good friend. And that's not something I would normally do. Well, most people would consider that is the inner child acting up and starting to drive when it's like, no, little kid. No. And when we talk about the inner kid, it's basically that inner child. It's us as children, literally. And when we are kids, we experience so many things that never leave us.
Yeah.
Life experiences, family dynamics, everything that happens to us as a kid, we carry that with us into adulthood to the point to where it is woven in us.
Right.
It's a part of our fabric. And so a lot of people want to go in and talk to that child and say, hey, calm the fuck down, little guy.
Right.
Or little girl, whatever. I look at it as different.
I have a little boy inside.
Do you really?
Just like, who, I don't know, probably just like a wily, crazy asshole kid, yes.
A little asshole boy. Yeah. I love this. Oh, we have so much to talk about. I'm so excited. Okay, first of all, though, I just wanted to share like what I think inner child healing is. So instead of trying to tame that little kid and putting it in its place and telling it to get in the passenger seat when he needs to, I have the opposite experience where when I need him, my little guy, that's what I call him, my little guy, he sits like right down here. I can feel him like physically. He's there. Yeah. I'm weird. I know. I'm so weird.
It's amazing.
And we talk to each other all the time. We plan our day together. It's so weird. But I actually call upon my inner child to drive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to suppress him or telling him or putting him in his place. I am there to say, hey, little guy, I need some help right now, because that my inner child, at least for me, holds all of my creativity.
Right.
When I was the youngest, when I was young, I had all this raw, crazy creativity, and I expressed it so freely. And so the older that we get, society, makes fun of those things or tells us we should not be doing those things or feeling those things or doing those things. Because of my inner child, he lets me do all of that because he hasn't experienced all the shit I've experienced. And so when I need a little bit of extra creativity, like if I'm going into a photo shoot or a music video, I do this little meditation where I go down there, I'm like, little guy, guess what? You get to come out and play today. It's your time to shine. Like, come on.
Let's rage.
So I look at it so different, and I'm so curious to see your experience with your inner child work, and we're getting there really quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share this, the reason why I have you on this show today to talk about inner child, because I was telling you about an experience I had a few weeks ago involving inner child work. And you were like, oh my God, I had a crazy experience too. I was at Radnor Lake, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, stop. Don't tell me anything more. Will you please come on my show and let's have a discussion about this.
Divulge all of your secrets to the internet at large. Yeah.
But I have done inner child work for the past 2 years. Intense. But a few weeks ago, I had an experience and it was quite different. Really quick, I've always been embarrassed to approach my inner child because I feel like I have failed him. All the things that he wanted us to do, to accomplish in life, career-wise, whatever, I did not fulfill. I've had a hard time facing my little kid because of all these dreams that he had, and I didn't fulfill them. It's been a lifelong struggle. I've never been able to face my little guy because of that until recently. Well, the other night I was just thinking, I have this great circle of friends right now, and we're all sort of going through this.
Yeah.
And we're sort of leaning on each other for help. We're sort of each other's codependent sponsors. It's kind of funny. And I just remember laying down and feeling so grateful for my life and how happy I was and how happy it's turned out. And so without even thinking about it, I said to my little guy, hey, look, our life's pretty cool, isn't it? Then I flipped. It came over me so incredibly powerful. I was speechless because it hit me for the first time in my entire life. I was proud to approach my little kid with what I've accomplished as an adult. I've never been able to do that. And so I documented it. I was half out of it because I was in this deep trance of this inner work that I was doing. I'll go into that in a whole other episode. But I just had to jot this down. This is the first time I've ever felt I actually achieved something you'd be proud of. I finally feel like I'm making you proud instead of disappointing you. I feel proud of what I've accomplished for us. And I wrote it 10:25 p.m., February 26, 2021. I never want to forget this moment.
Oh my God.
That's how incredible that experience was. And I'm only sharing that because that is how incredible inner child work is. I strongly encourage everyone to do it. You do not have to be a codependent. You don't have to be in a relationship. You know, this chat that I'm doing is just a discussion. I'm not trying to help anyone. I'm just trying to talk about it openly. So that's what we're doing. And you don't have to be a codependent. You don't even have to be in a relationship. But this is all about having healthy relationships and being an independent badass. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So enough about me. What do you think about me?
Well, no, wait.
I'm kidding.
Before, I do want to go there, actually. Because, like, I can just imagine, I didn't know you when you were a little boy. But I am just imagining you now holding his little hand, opening the door to your beautiful space.
Yeah.
And just, like,
It's
saying,
pretty cool.
See this? Do you see that? I mean,
That's what came over me.
Right.
Like it finally hit me for the first time.
And I don't know who has seen your studio or not, but like that in and of itself, like I would be proud. Like I'm proud of you now. Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You know, to like look back, and I'm right next door, and I like my spot too. If my inner child, if my hell, dude, if my 14-year-old self saw me now, she'd be like, "Oh, you're a bad bitch."
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
God.
And there's so much work to do, like not just like internally.
That's a big deal because that's
Yeah.
what happened to me.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I do think like to be able to see me then here now living by myself on my own 2 feet in a beautiful space with people that I love in my life, like that in and of itself, that I never felt like was in the cards for me. You
Wow.
know? Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll get there.
Because you do have a
We'll
beautiful
go there.
space. Yes, we will. Well, I'm so excited. Well, to your point, I think it took me years to really soak in what I've created here in this space and what I get to do now.
Yeah.
Everyone always is telling me, "Oh my God, you're so creative," and I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that because I've never felt it.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Because I feel like the creativity that I'm capable of has not been seen yet. And I feel like I'm not creative. I don't even know how to tap into that. Like, I know it's there, but I don't... Bitch.
Right.
That experience I had a few weeks ago brought all that up. And so there's some art that is on its way right now that is raw. It is way out there. Yeah.
Did you shoot it as a video? What do you?
No,
can you tantalize us, please?
I have a whole new persona, an alter ego.
Stop.
That is going to live out all of my little guy's creativity.
That's so cool.
Because my alter ego has way more courage. He's able to meet my little guy. They're both they haven't been touched by the world, and so I get to use both of them to get out some crazy ass shit, girl. It gonna be crazy.
I love that.
Okay, I want to get to what we were talking about at the picnic table.
Okay.
Outside.
This requires a sip.
Yes, it does. Oh, from both of us. Here, you want to do another sip?
Cheers, motherfucker.
Hey! See, when I get excited, I do the hey. It happens all the... I love that you can hear that, by the way. So when you were telling me the story, you just randomly blurted it out because I was doing this internal family systems therapy. And I was like, humana, what?
Right.
Because I feel like I've heard of so many things on my journey on my adventure. I don't like saying the word journey.
It sounds a lot more laborious than adventure.
And it's so Christian-y.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's Christian lingo.
Right.
So I'm taking it back.
Right.
An adventure. On this adventure I have not heard of this internal family systems therapy. Okay, so you don't have to talk about this now.
Okay.
But you can. But what I'm getting at, you brought that up in reference to a powerful inner child experience that you had in a park.
Yeah.
So, however you want to tell me this story,
okay,
we are ready.
Okay.
I'm going to be sipping.
Well, the interesting thing is, all of what you're saying and what you have been saying right now can be integrated into IFS.
Okay.
When you're talking about alter egos, when you're talking about the inner child, like international. Okay, we're going to edit that part. Internal.
There's
family.
no editing,
Oh
bitch.
fuck. I mean, oops.
You could say fuck. I started the show with fuck.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, internal family systems therapy is a particular modality of psychology in which there is a self, and underneath that self there are categories, not subcategories, but the parts that make up that self.
Okay.
So different personalities, different family members inside of us, right?
Interesting.
That all have different...
Like real family members?
No.
Okay, just within us.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
Different parts of the same whole.
Okay, got it.
Right. And in a perfect world, the self, as you were mentioning before with the driving metaphor, the self is driving that car. The parts underneath that self are all sort of safely buckled. They have input, right? But they're not, like going wherever they want.
Yeah.
And the basic premise, which is what I found so beautiful about this particular way of thinking about the human mind, because there are many, right? Is that all of these parts are good.
You're going to give me... Am I just going to have goosebumps this entire episode?
I don't know, maybe.
So you're saying they're all good.
Right, there's not a bad part. Like, there is... I'm going to look straight into the camera right now.
It's
like,
that one right there.
It's that one right there.
Yes, the short one.
There's not a bad part inside of you.
Hey!
Oh,
See, I get so excited. I'll snap and I say, hey.
Right.
So there's a mic right there. Sorry, guys.
So what can happen is that parts may try to take on a heavier load, or maybe a load that they don't need to, or maybe they're compensating for another part. And they're all trying to protect us. They might not have the best tools to do so. And that's why we can encounter some funky outcomes, or sort of maybe less than ideal ways of dealing with the world around us, or the traumas that we've experienced previously.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're talking about creativity. We're both creative people. I don't know.
You're a singer-songwriter.
Right. I don't even know that I could have admitted that a few months ago. I know, it's really
That's
weird.
all I know of you.
I know
you.
but
I get
I know.
it. I get it, girl.
But the baked-in editor in this brain is relentless. I don't know.
Is it the ego side of you? Like the human side that is a little cray-cray, that's not really connected spiritually, or?
It's, to tie it back into IFS.
Yeah.
Okay. One morning, I woke up. And for whatever reason, either biochemical or I don't know, it was probably winter or something, just like seasonal stuff. I woke up and my brain was like, you suck. You're not creative. You're not good at really anything that you try to do. You don't have the stick-to-itiveness to accomplish anything that you start. You're 31 now, so you're getting a little bit old. The window's kind of closing. Like every mean thing that you would never tell another person or even think about another person. I just woke up and it was in my head. And this is something that, I had struggled with a lot, right?
How long?
Eternity,
since you were a kid, just growing up, you always felt that.
Just the negative sort of self-talk monkey mind,
yes,
yeah,
which I call the ego mind.
Right.
So ego doesn't mean like you're egotistical.
Right.
It's just the human side of us that's not able to comprehend
right.
the beauty of spirituality and all that good stuff.
I like to imagine it's just like a little monkey just like hurling shit in there.
Yeah.
And
monkey brain is actually used a lot within
meditation,
this world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this morning I wake up, I feel terrible. I know that there is salvation, another Christian term, whatever.
It's okay. We've reclaimed it.
Okay. Okay, we're doing it now, or it's been done?
It's It's
doing it
been
now.
done,
Oh,
but
okay.
we're doing it now too.
Okay.
Salvation belongs to us.
Yeah, to everyone. I love that.
Everyone.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that when I go there, I need to move and I need to be around trees. Like, if we're talking about religion, trees are probably my religion.
Girl, we are
Yeah.
so similar.
I know,
This is why
right,
we get
look.
along so. Your tree.
I know,
We're
and you have
badass. Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting.
It's okay. My ADD
I'm just
is
having
going
so much
everywhere.
fun. I love
It's
it.
like, so I know if I'm having a bad time, I have to go to Radnor. I'll do my lap, and I will work through it, whatever. This happened right after having a conversation and hearing about IFS for the first time. I wasn't cognizant of that at the time. I just show up at Radnor, and I
Was
feel
this
like
on a morning that you were having one of those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this was then.
right, and normally I just try to like shove everything down. It's like
course.
shut up, shut up, shut up. And that's cruel, right? I mean, like, even if whoever's barking in your head is being mean to you, if we approach that with curiosity and not cruelty, rather, with curiosity, not cruelty, you can go a lot further, you know?
I'm gonna need you to look right there and say that one more damn time.
Well, any of the internal dialogue that you're having, whether it be good or bad or what have you, if you approach it with curiosity and not cruelty, you'll go a lot further, you know?
Curiosity, not you. Just.
All right. Oh.
I mean, I know I'm like putting this out, but I still gotta write. This. I keep interrupting. I'm sorry. This is amazing.
And so I remember this is the conversation about IFS that I had before. I hadn't seen like a practitioner yet, but I know the basics of it. I know that these parts that are subdivided inside of me can be spoken to, can be asked questions, are all good. Like, that being the most important part of this whole exercise. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. You in there who is saying all of these really nasty things, like, if you're basically good, what are you trying to do? Like, where is this coming from? And who are you? Like, you're living rent-free in here, and
Ooh.
right, and I just need to know who you are. Like, you're trying to serve a purpose, and that's cool. So who are you? Let's figure out what that purpose is. And so I asked myself that, or I asked that part of me that.
My mind is blown.
Right. That's the beautiful thing. Like, you can address the inner child, you can address the alter ego, you can, like, we're talking about the same thing, just in different language. Yeah, it's beautiful. So when you were talking, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Okay. So I'm asking this really rude person in my brain, like, why are you saying all of this horrible shit about me? Like, what did I ever do to you? And right.
Ooh.
And the purpose that editor, that naysayer is trying to achieve was to help me, keep me safe from feeling incompetent. Now, that's not something that, like, twists everybody's panties up, but it absolutely makes me, like, so scared. And when I came to that sort of realization, that conclusion, that conversation, like, why are you doing this? Oh, well, we don't want you to look dumb. Like, that is an absolute, like, no. If you don't try, if you don't put forth effort, if you don't express, then nobody's going to judge you because you never did anything. And that's safe, right? And so I had to say, okay, that's really bizarre. Why is incompetence such a weird, like, and horrible thing to me? Like, we're floating on a rock in space. Like, we're all just meat suits kind of walking around until one day we're gone. Like, what does it matter?
Right.
You know? And for me, when I was a kid, this is coming to the inner child we're circling back to that point. When I was a kid, I moved around so much, and I did not have friends really like in grade school and those like really formative years where like hopefully most normal people have like bonds and like they remember Rachel and Ashley and like Sarah the horse girl or whatever. Like that was never something that I had. I was always the weird kid in the corner, and the only way that I could find validation, attention, not friendship, but was with the teachers that I had in school.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to be my friend because I was never, I mean, my mom, bless her heart, she sent me to school in like spandex and oversized t-shirts, and everybody else was like rocking their Limited 2 and like they had their like, I don't know, people were crimping their hair back then. I had no concept of any of that. I was weird. I was like always in my own head, and so these teachers were like a lifeline, right? Like I don't know how to interact with them, but if I can do good here, if I can be competent here, that means that I have a connection to the world around me, And so to be seen as incompetent is to be seen as invaluable from my experience growing up. God.
I am so in this.
Right. And so that part of me is terribly afraid of not having that lifeline,
Ooh.
And so I said, okay, thank you. Like, meanwhile, I'm walking around Radnor, like, ugly crying. Because, like middle-aged moms are just like... Oh.
I mean, when it hits, though, it hits.
Right, I know. Yeah, and so, like, I'm up on, like, Ganya Ridge or, like, whatever that is, and just like, like, triple chinning. It was very bad. But it was beautiful because from there, I said, okay, so if you are working in tandem, and when I say that, working in tandem, when you are trying to protect this other part.
This critical part that
right,
you're
the
addressing.
critical part is trying to protect another part. Well, who is that? That is that little girl who was in those classrooms, who was largely like kind of left to her own devices, cared for, absolutely. Like, I love my parents and everything, but it was rough. And she is sort of like, it's the same thing. It's that when you were talking about your inner child being the sort of wellspring of your creativity.
Yeah.
It's the same for me.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shut up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about children. Like, there is no consequence to creativity then.
No,
right?
none, zero.
Right. You say, like, oh my God, here I am with my crayon.
You're
You
gonna
have
color outside those
green
lines.
hair and like a weird and you show your mom, you're like, oh, that's great. And it is great.
Yes.
Yes, because it's like, it's the expression and it's exciting and it's new and it's fun and it's playful. So I had to go back and find her. Again, I'm like ugly crying at Radnor, and like I find her, I'm literally like meditating in my mind, my eyes are closed. No, they must have been open because I was walking, whatever. I see it clear as day. I'm there. I'm like single digits. I don't know, like 6, 9, 10, whatever. 9. 10 is a double. Okay, whatever.
We're drinking, it's all good.
I find her, and she's alone in like a daycare that I remember, and she's pissed.
So you saw her. Do you feel like you were right there with her?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was me then when she was abandoned. Then, right? It's been decades, right? And so I go in and I find her, and she's not happy. And I just apologize, because the self the higher self, the awareness, has not been in charge, has not been sort of the arbiter of equality with all of these pieces. I've been asleep at the wheel, and this critic that's trying to save us from pain has been the one that's driving, and he's just like shoving this kid in the back, like, shut up, you don't deserve to, have a say, when all she wants to do is like finger paint and have fun, And so I found her in my mind. I probably sound like a crazy person, whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God, keep going. This is unreal.
I find her.
We're all crazy. It's okay.
I pick her up. I hold her. Ugh. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm here with you now. You have a seat at the table. You have agency. You are free to do all the finger painting you want. Critic is still going to be there, but critic is not in charge anymore. Critic then turns from the one that's sort of squashing any creative freedom to now maybe a little bit later in the process. So we're going to let inner child finger paint, express, have all of these ideas, throw paint at the wall, and then maybe later, very gently, critic will come in and refine and say, okay, I like this. How can we better effectively, like I write songs, so, previously I would write and I would be in like a verse and I'd get 2 lines in and it's like, no, that's dumb or whatever. And I would never finish a freaking song, And now I'll just go. I'll go with whatever, and then there's an editing process now, but it's in balance. These two things, the critic, the editor, I've since put it in its place. The editor,
I love it. So he went from
right
critical
right
to editor,
right, with balance. Every part is good. They just might get a little out of balance. I'm like, this has just been one experience of mine. I'm by no means an expert. I have miles and miles and miles.
This is a discussion.
Of ways to go. But that helped me, that particular experience, that scenario. And I mean, I have sent, like last month, I think I wrote 10 songs and they're all killer, and I'd never be able to say that before. Right. I mean, I've had like friends rally, like a particular mentor come in and help. I don't know that I would even have sought that out if it weren't for that,
How long ago was that experience?
Maybe before, maybe the fall, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so you've been living this new realization.
Right.
And awareness since the fall.
Right.
Ooh. So you've been swimming in it ever since.
Right.
And using it to your advantage. Mm-hmm. You said something that was so powerful when you were talking about this outside on the picnic table. How you, and I don't want to take these words from you, but if you can talk more about this, how eventually you were finally able to release that child from the daycare that had been stuck there for so many years. Touch on that a little bit. I mean, I know I basically just said it.
No,
I thought that was so powerful.
Right. No, to acknowledge a part of you that hasn't had a say, that hasn't had a seat at the table for so long, that has been so underutilized and out of balance for so long, to like finally say, hey, I see you. You have value. You're worth something. You are a part of this team. And the team wouldn't be the same without you. You're essential, Like, to find her and give her agency. It's I don't know. I feel like
you set her free.
Yeah, exactly.
She's finally free. Mm-hmm. Wow. Go ahead. What are you gonna say? It's an ongoing process. So you don't have one realization and then you're just woke, right? That's not how it works. But when I do get into sort of creative
endeavors, and I feel this one starting to be a little bit of an asshole. I'm just like, hey, you know where you need to sit, and she knows where she needs to sit, and it's very much different, and we all have a seat at the table now.
I'm completely obsessed with this concept. It is very new to me, so I'm so glad we're talking about this. So how did you hear of this? How did you educate yourself? How would you recommend others to find this type of work and more information on it? I'm basically asking you for me.
Yeah.
And they can listen if they want.
So, I don't know. It was 2020, so of course, like last year, it got pretty dark.
No.
Yeah. And a friend had actually recommended that modality to me. And when I heard that, there's a million different parts inside of you, maybe not a million, but there are parts inside of you. The basic premise is that they're good. I was like, oh, what a relief. Like I'm not bad. I don't know why I feel like I'm bad.
We all go there.
Right.
We always think that we have that part of ourselves as like,
Right.
oh, we just want to tuck that bitch
Right.
away. I don't want anyone to see that.
Right. And that was the thing that really made that stand out to me was that concept. And so he sent me a few links. There's an organization, like if you just Google internal family systems, their organization will pop up first.
Okay.
And they actually have a tool on their site where you can find practitioners in your area.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any books or anything that talk about this concept just off of top of your head?
There is literature associated on that same website.
Okay. So if we're going to Google,
Right.
say it one more time, what are we going to Google?
Internal family systems therapy. Yeah.
We're going to say that one more time.
Internal family systems therapy. Yeah, I mean, there are different parts of you. Every one of them is good. Just make sure that everybody has a seat at the table. And if you can find somebody that can help give voice to the voiceless and maybe say take a seat to the ones that are a little bit too loud or trying to overcompensate where they don't necessarily need to, like, there's peace in that,
Isn't it weird how the internal struggle mimics our outer struggles in the sense of you're talking about everyone having a seat at the table? And there's parts of us that feel that they don't. How often in this life and on the outside world that we feel that we never have a place at the table. It feels like, at least for me, like here's all these tables and these different settings of my life and different seasons of my life.
Right.
And I so often have felt like there's no place for me at that table.
Right.
And it sucks because if we're not finding our own place at our table outside,
Right.
in this life that we're living, our ego, monkey brain life, then it's so horrible that we then do that to ourselves internally and don't allow all of our parts a place at the table.
Well, we're constantly creating our own reality. I know it sounds insane.
It's true.
But, like, this is the lens through which we view the world.
Yeah.
If I perceive that I don't have a seat at that table, there could be a seat wide open with like 8 people like, come on, it's great. You should try the meatloaf or whatever. Like, I don't know. But if I don't see it for myself, if I don't think that I have that, then I will never sit down. So yeah, I mean, we have to pay attention to in here. And,
oh my God.
and love it. It's worthy of love, Damn it.
Yes. Well, that's what this is all about. This is all about self-love, self-care.
Yeah.
And as I said before, being an independent badass. This is not just about codependency.
Yeah.
And I was so hesitant about calling this, the codependency corner or codependent corner, but I mean, that's really what it is for me. But it's so much more than that. We all need to experience this and talk about this openly. Before we wrap up, I don't even know how long we've gone, and frankly, I don't give a shit. The way I see it is people can watch until they're bored,
Right.
and then move on. And those that are interested in listening can listen. You mentioned the how it's constant work.
Yeah.
And this is something I always want to talk about on this little show is it's never over. You never do the work and you're healed. It's just like an alcoholic.
Right.
And with codependency, it's the same. We call it codependent recovery. Just like alcoholic, they're in recovery. They're always in recovery.
Right.
And so I will always be in recovery of these issues. So it's never over. Ever, ever. So for you, after having this experience in the fall, knowing that you're not just perfectly healed now,
right.
and this is constant work,
right.
what have you been doing since then to stay on top of this shit?
When you understand that the narrative are parts and pieces, if you can stay alert and cognizant and don't just take whatever's being said in your mind for granted. Take a moment. If, your hamster wheel is saying a bunch of crazy stuff, just stay curious. Just stay curious. That's all. I mean, that's not all you have to do, obviously, but that is a great way to keep everything, in some kind of balance, and don't ever be afraid of whatever your mind is saying. It's just a part, kind of like doing a spiel. You just say, oh, that's interesting. Okay, and who's talking? Oh, all right. Well, thank you for the input. I really appreciate it. And, maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. But it's inconsequential,
So this is something you're doing daily?
If I'm being a good girl.
Right. Yeah. Technically. In a way to keep it going and to keep it fresh and to keep that recovery.
Yeah.
You do that daily. Wow. I know, for me, when I want to stay really centered and grounded in all of this, journaling for me is what does it.
Yeah.
So I get up every morning. The first thing that I do every morning is journal, and it doesn't have to be anything deep. People think, oh, I can't tap into anything in the morning.
Right.
It's not about that. Even if you just get up and write about the shit you have to do for the day,
right.
your to-do list.
Did you read The Artist's Way?
Oh, girl, there's going to be a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
Here in my codependent corner and my self-help corner. This is what really should be called, my self-help corner. Bitch, not only did I do the book, I did the workbook. I don't know if she's down here too, but I did Walking Through This World.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's Walking. It's the follow-up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is my whole
She's amazing.
healing.
If
Julie Cameron.
If you're a creative person and you want to get in touch with your creativity again in a realer, deeper way, you absolutely have to get The Artist's Way. She's not paying me to say that.
No. We're going to do an entire episode on The Artist's Way, so I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
And when I said journaling, that's what made you think of this, isn't it? That's one of the requirements. You have to get up and write 3 pages longhand.
Before anything else.
Anything. You can make your coffee. I make my coffee, and then I sit, and then I just write until I've reached my 3 pages.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, sometimes I've written something so profound, and sometimes I know what I need to do for the day.
Right.
Just doing that clears you and opens you up and centers you. And for me, it allows me to touch base with that little guy at the beginning of the day every day.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I want him out here driving. Right. I know I said all this at the beginning, but I want to kind of frame this episode with, I want my kid to have fun.
Right.
The kind of fun that I don't get to have.
Right.
And he gets to.
Right. Finger paint,
all of it.
Throw spaghetti, just be free to feel it, create it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, say it one more time, this curiosity and criticism thing, if you remember how to say it in a complete sentence at this point.
I haven't had that much to drink. No, what did I say? I just you'll
You're
get a
turning
lot.
the criticism
Right.
It's more about the curiosity.
Right. You'll get a lot farther with internal work with curiosity than cruelty. That's what it was.
Oh, cruelty.
Right.
Cruelty and criticism.
Well, same thing, really, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I don't know. My inner critic was pretty damn cruel. But
Oh, yeah. Have you read New Earth? I'm going to be talking about that
No.
too. Eckhart Tolle,
Oh, I love him.
where
I
he talks
haven't
about the
read it,
pain
though.
body.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm doing a whole episode
Yeah.
on that too.
He's great. What was
He's
the
amazing.
What was the other book that he had? Oh, he's got...
New Earth and
Let me just
pull out my
Right.
library. What my did no that was not What My Soul Told Me. That was a really good book too. It was New Earth. It was the one before New Earth. I can never remember it.
Yeah.
It's what started. That's what introduced his
I listened to a 7-hour audiobook on YouTube of that man. Yeah, and there's, I mean, a
It's
lot of the same
amazing.
principles apply. It's like having an awareness, a curiosity, and then letting it go, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything burning that you just gotta get out?
I don't know. I just feel like after last year, everybody went through the ringer in their own way. Like everybody's saying, you know, we all have different ships, but it's been the same storm. We're not all experiencing that, you know, the same way. Just be kind to yourself.
Have you noticed, like within our little circle, I know our little circle is pretty much just us and our other neighbors in the building.
Right.
You have other circles.
Right.
Have you noticed in your world that there seems to be a theme amongst your friends and circles of self-awareness and healing
Yeah.
and digging deep?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
Yes.
it's with my whole group too.
Yeah.
And when I say group, I have several little groups. And we're all experiencing the same thing in life.
Yeah.
It's like the season of growing pains, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so painful, and it hurts so much. There's a reason why they call it growing pains.
Right.
But damn, it is so worth it.
Yeah.
That's why I call this an adventure, because it's never over, and it can be fun. I like to think of an adventure as something that's fun. Journey is not necessarily fun.
Right. I'm thinking like, oh God, I have like an 80-pound backpack
Right.
on my back, and like I'm hungry and tired, and mosquitoes are biting my ass. Like I don't like that.
And that's
But
a
an
journey.
adventure,
Right?
It's the same thing with a whole different attitude. You know, it's like sure they're biting my butt, but hey, that's that sweet meat. You know. I just said that. I can't.
I love you. So
We cannot end on that sentiment.
why not?
Okay, maybe we'll. end on
No,
that
it's okay.
sentiment.
I'm really glad you came on.
Thank
Will
you.
you do this again? Because I have a feeling that people are going to have some questions, and they're really going to get into everything that you just said. You have such a beautiful way of explaining and speaking, way better than me. So if you
Oh.
ever want to come on and help me grow,
No,
you
I
can.
mean, yeah, this has been really fun, and I feel like I reined in the squirrels that are like just running around in circles in my head all the time, like for the few minutes that we spent together. So
I love it. And this all happened because we were out there. I was having a cig. I get one
Sorry, Mom.
hardly ever. And sometimes I'll treat myself.
Yeah.
And you were out there, and we were just kind of talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I have a story too. And I'm like, stop it. I don't want to hear it. What we're drinking tonight
Oh, yeah.
is our special cocktail blend is
so
fresh
good.
squeezed grapefruit
yes,
with rose extract
so good.
and a lot of gin. That's our drink.
It's-
So, were you gonna say something?
It's so tasty. It's to say it's really floral sounds stupid because of course it would be because it's rose.
It is floral.
But this is gonna be like the drink of the summer, man. I'm already calling it.
I told you. You know what I really do with what?
Ooh. Maybe like one sprig of something herbaceous. Maybe it's rosemary.
I knew you were gonna say rosemary.
Oh my God.
What
What
if it
would
was
be the-
mint? Do you think mint would
Mint,
vibe?
no,
with-
yes.
I think mint
yes.
would vibe with this.
Not too much. Just like
No.
just the garnish.
Yeah, you can't do a lot of mint with that. It's
Yeah.
too overpowering. I got this idea because I got the rose for rose martinis.
Ooh. Oh my God.
So I'll have you back over.
Can we talk about martinis for like 2 seconds?
I don't give a fuck what we talk about.
my
People
God.
can tune out whenever they want to tune out. As long as my hard drives are still going, I do not care. My audio is still rolling too.
I had my first espresso martini.
I can't do those.
What?
Because I won't be able to sleep. Anyway.
That's the point. No, it's not the point. They're delicious. I had no idea, and it's only like Kahlua and then vodka, right, or something.
Maybe vanilla vodka or something like that.
And cold brew or espresso. That's what it is.
espresso.
So you shake it up. Couple espresso beans on top. I drank 3 of them the other night. Also, sorry, Mom. But I was like wired for sound, but just
that's why I
having
can't.
A great time.
That's why I can't drink them because I won't be able to sleep. If I have caffeine after 5 p.m., I'm done for the day. But I'll have you back over.
Okay.
We'll make rose martinis. We'll Instagram it so people can see our little recipe and what we do.
Love it.
Okay. I am very happy about this episode. I am so thankful that you came on to talk about all of this stuff with me. Everyone knows that I love this song Super Bloom.
Yes.
What sucks about using this music on these little episodes, I get flagged. Like they flag you for even if it's 30 seconds of someone's song, they're going to flag you. And it's so frustrating, but oh well, it's life.
You make music.
I know, but there's...
Make your own
I know
intro.
I should make my own, but there's so many good songs out there right now. I have a full happy playlist of very, very empowering songs. And whenever you're hearing me scream out, hey, over here,
hey,
it's because I'm listening to them, having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And like really, really feeling it. God, you got to hear everything. Okay, so I am going to end with this one part of Super Bloom. It's what we started. Someone is burning up my phone. No one important, I'm sure. You never know. Is this the part? The lyrics.
Never rain in the desert till I pick me for the very first time.
Right?
It's darkest before the sunrise. That's when I never rain in the desert till I pick me for the very first
Come on.
time. Hey, it's darkest
so
before
excited.
the sunrise. That's when I.
All right. Where you got it? Okay. I'm putting on the spot.
Okay.
We're getting up and we're dancing. But watch your
I'm not
head
gonna hear it.
on. Hey!
I deserve
Come on.
congratulations, 'cause I came out the other side. I've been having revelations, and I'm gonna let them shine.
This is my life. This is what I'm always doing when I work here. Hey! Guys, thank you so much. Now we're at this one right here. Thank you for tuning in. If you stuck with us this long, thanks. Cheers. And I hope that you have joined our little dance session. Until next time, every Sunday I'm going to try to put these out whenever I can, all right? Lauren Farrah. Thank you, Lauren. Hey, come on. Ooh, perfect timing.
We did it.
Good night, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my god. That was so awesome. Uh-oh, see? This is what happens to me all the time here. Like, yes, the next one comes on.
Myself, I wanna see it when I turn around, look in the mirror, and if you don't like it, you can leave it, 'cause it's my own.
See, they're all like self-empowering songs. It's like my badass PlayStation.